This message did not find you by accident. A new door has opened in your life, and your reality is beginning to shift now. Take a deep breath, and for a moment, allow yourself to become still. Not because everything around you is still, not because life has already given you every answer, but because something inside you is ready to hear this differently now. There are moments in life that feel ordinary on the outside. A normal day, a quiet moment, a simple video appearing in front of you. But deep inside, something recognizes it. Something in your energy pauses. Something in your spirit listens, because part of you already knows. This is not only a message. This is a doorway into a different version of your life. A doorway into the reality that has been trying to reach you. A doorway into the version of yourself that no longer lives from fear, pressure, or old limitations. Take another deep breath and allow your body to soften. You do not need to force this moment. You do not need to prove anything right now. You do not need to understand how every part of your future will unfold. Just breathe and allow yourself to receive the possibility that something has already opened for you. A new door has opened in your energy. A new path is beginning to form around your life. A new reality is quietly calling your name. And maybe you have felt it already, in the way old things suddenly feel too small, in the way certain conversations no longer reach you, in the way your desires have become stronger, in the way your patience for misalignment has become thinner, in the way you can no longer pretend that the life you used to accept is enough for who you are becoming now. That feeling is not random. That feeling is awareness. That feeling is your inner world beginning to recognize that the old chapter has reached its limit. You are not here to keep repeating the same emotional story forever. You are not here to stay trapped inside versions of yourself that only existed to survive. You are not here to shrink around the fear of what might happen if you finally choose the life that has been calling you. You are here to expand. You are here to rise. You are here to enter the doorway that matches your growth. And right now, something inside you is ready. Maybe not perfectly ready. Maybe not loudly ready. Maybe not with every detail figured out. But ready in the way your soul becomes ready before your mind feels fully prepared. Ready in the way your energy begins leaning towards something new. Ready in the way your spirit stops feeling at home in the old reality. This is how major shifts begin. They do not always begin with proof. They begin with a pull, a quiet knowing, a deep feeling that the life you have known is no longer the life you are meant to stay inside. And if you are feeling that pull, listen to it. It is guiding you toward the door into more peace, more abundance, more freedom, more clarity, more alignment, more self-trust, more of the life that feels like it truly belongs to you. Take a slow breath and let these words settle inside your body. The door is open for you now. Your new reality is calling you now. Your life is beginning to move towards something greater. You are safe to step into the next version of yourself. You are safe to receive what is waiting on the other side. You are safe to let life become bigger than the past. You are safe to trust the opening that is happening now. You are safe to walk through the door that matches your future. Feel that for a moment. A door opening, not outside of you first, inside of you. Inside the way you see yourself. Inside the way you understand what you deserve. Inside the way you stop accepting every old story as truth. Inside the way you begin to believe that more is available. Because the most powerful doorway is always internal first. Before the opportunity appears, your identity begins to shift. Before the money moves, your relationship with receiving begins to heal. Before the right people arrive, your energy begins choosing peace over chaos. Before the new reality becomes visible, your inner world begins making space for it. And that is what is happening now. You are making space. Space in your mind, space in your energy, space in your standards, space in your future, space in the way you imagine what is possible for you. You are no longer available for the version of life that constantly made you question your own worth. You are no longer available for the version of success that requires you to abandon yourself. You are no longer available for the version of love that feels like anxiety. You are no longer available for the version of money that feels only like fear and survival. You are ready for something cleaner, something calmer, something more aligned. Something that meets the person you are becoming now. And because you are changing internally, your reality begins to reorganize around that change. Some things may fade, some desires may sharpen, some paths may close, some new ideas may arrive with unusual clarity. Some people may feel further away. Some opportunities may begin to feel closer. This is part of the doorway. Do not panic when the old reality begins losing its shape. Do not assume something is wrong because you are no longer connected to the same energy. Do not mistake release for failure. Sometimes release is the proof that the door has opened. Sometimes the old has to loosen its grip before the new can enter fully. Sometimes your life must create space before it can place something greater into your hands. You are safe inside this transition. You are safe inside this opening. You are safe as life begins to move differently around you. Take another deep breath and imagine for a moment that the version of you on the other side of this doorway is already waiting. Not as a stranger, but as a truer version of who you have always been becoming. This version of you is calmer, clearer, more grounded, more honest, more powerful. This version of you does not chase what creates confusion. This version of you does not beg for spaces that cannot recognize their energy. This version of you does not shrink dreams just to make them easier for others to understand. This version of you knows that life can expand. This version of you knows that money can support freedom. This version of you knows that peace can be normal. This version of you knows that good things can arrive without chaos attached to them. And that version is not far from you. That version is already beginning to rise inside you every time you choose yourself with more honesty. Every time you release a fear that used to control your decisions. Every time you stop repeating an old pattern. Every time you allow yourself to believe in a life that feels bigger, you move closer to that version. You walk further through the doorway. You become more available for the reality that has been waiting for your energy to match it. Because some blessings do not require more chasing. They require more alignment. Some doors do not open from pressure. They open from identity. Some realities do not arrive through force. They arrive when you finally become available to receive them without rejecting them through fear. And this is your invitation to become available now. Available for abundance. Available for freedom. Available for love that feels safe. Available for success that feels aligned. Available for money that supports your life. Available for opportunities that recognize your value. Available for a future that does not look like the pain you have already survived. You are allowed to become available for a beautiful life. You are allowed to let life feel better than it used to. You are allowed to stop expecting difficulty as the price of every blessing. You are allowed to receive without bracing for loss. You are allowed to open without apologizing for it. Take a slow breath and gently receive these words. You are walking into a reality that matches your growth. The old limits are losing power over your life. Your energy is opening to something greater. Your future is becoming more real to you now. The right doors are beginning to recognize your energy. Life is moving you into a higher chapter. Your path is opening with divine timing. Your inner world is making space for outer change. Your energy is becoming ready for more. The door has opened because you are ready to walk through it. Let yourself feel how different that is. You are not trying to break through a locked door anymore. You are not standing outside of your own life begging to be chosen. You are not waiting for permission to become who you already feel yourself becoming. The door has opened because your energy has changed. Your awareness has changed. Your standards have changed. Your relationship with yourself has changed. And life responds to that. Life responds when you stop abandoning your own knowing. Life responds when you stop treating your desires like accidents. Life responds when you stop shrinking into old identities that never truly belong to you. Life responds when you say yes to your own expansion. And now a deeper yes is rising inside you. A yes to the life that feels right. A yes to the future that feels expansive. A yes to the wealth that gives you choices. A yes to the peace that keeps your spirit steady. A yes to the clarity that helps you move without fear leading every step. A yes to the version of yourself that no longer needs the old story to survive. This yes matters, because your life changes when your inner yes becomes stronger than your old fear. Your life changes when you stop negotiating with the limits you were meant to outgrow. Your life changes when you allow the door to be open instead of constantly questioning whether you are worthy of entering it. You are worthy of entering it. You are worthy of the new reality. You are worthy of the beautiful shift. You are worthy of the freedom that has been calling you. You are worthy of the abundance that wants to move through your life. You are worthy of opportunities that match your intelligence, creativity, energy, and growth. You are worthy of a life that feels like it recognizes you. And the more you allow that truth, the more your energy changes. You begin to move differently. You begin to speak differently. You begin to choose differently. You begin to protect your peace differently. You begin to notice what is aligned and what is not. You begin to walk away from what once kept you looping in the same emotional place. And that is not loss. That is the doorway doing its work. It is separating you from the version of life you have already outgrown. It is teaching you how to carry yourself into the new without dragging every old fear behind you. Take another deep breath and let your body understand this. You do not need to drag the old fear through the new door. You do not need to drag the old identity through the new door. You do not need to drag the old disappointment through the new door. You can enter lighter. You can enter clearer. You can enter with more trust than before. You can enter with the knowledge that what happened before does not control what happens next. The past may have shaped you, but it does not own the doorway in front of you. The old pain may have taught you, but it does not have authority over the reality you are entering. You are allowed to take the wisdom and leave the weight. You are allowed to take the strength and leave the survival identity. You are allowed to take the clarity and leave the story that you must always struggle. That story is ending. A new story is beginning. A story where you know your energy has value. A story where you trust your direction more deeply. A story where you allow abundance to become normal. A story where you no longer apologize for wanting a life that feels free. A story where you move like someone who understands that the door is already open. And as you move through this story, life begins to show you evidence. Small evidence first. A moment of clarity. A sudden idea. A conversation that changes something inside you. A feeling that guides you away from what is wrong and toward what is right. A door that opens more easily than expected. A sign that reminds you the timing is real. A shift in your mood, a shift in your confidence, a shift in your willingness to receive. Do not ignore the small evidence. Small evidence is often the first language of a new reality. The new life begins by speaking softly. It meets you in small openings, small changes, small confirmations, small movements that slowly become impossible to deny. And the more you notice them, the more connected you become to the path that is opening. Your attention is powerful. Your belief is powerful. Your willingness is powerful. Your energy is powerful. When you begin noticing what is working, what is opening, what is aligning, you stop giving all your power to what has not appeared yet. You begin living as someone who understands that movement has already begun. And movement has already begun. The door has already opened. The shift has already started. The new version of you has already been activated. Now your life is catching up to what your energy has already chosen. Take a slow breath and allow yourself to receive this. You are not behind the shift. You are inside the shift. You are not waiting for life to begin. Life is beginning to move now. You are not outside of the blessing. You are being guided toward it. You are not too late for the doorway. The doorway is open now, and your role is to keep walking. Not with panic, not with pressure, not with the fear that you will lose everything if you do not control every detail, but with trust, with presence, with alignment, with the quiet confidence that what is meant for this version of you will recognize you. You do not need to perform for the new reality. You need to become honest enough to enter it. Honest about what you want. Honest about what you are ready to leave behind. Honest about the life that no longer fits. Honest about the life that calls your name. Honest about the part of you that knows you were meant for more. That honesty is the key. It opens the internal door wider. It gives your energy direction. It tells your future that you are no longer hiding from it. You are done pretending that smallness is safety. You are done pretending that misalignment is comfort. You are done pretending that your desires are too much. Your desires are information. Your desires are signals. Your desires are invitations from the version of life that is trying to reach you. And you are allowed to follow them with wisdom, with peace, with grounded trust. You are allowed to become the kind of person who listens to the pull of their own future. Because your future is speaking. It is calling through your dreams, through your ideas, through the changes in your energy, through the discomfort you feel around the old life, through the sudden clarity that says, "This is no longer enough." That clarity is not here to make you ungrateful. It is here to move you forward. You can appreciate what brought you here and still know you are meant to go further. You can honor the old chapter and still walk through the new door. You can be grateful for your past and still stop living inside it. You can respect what shaped you and still choose what expands you. This is maturity. This is alignment. This is the moment where you stop using gratitude as a reason to settle and begin using gratitude as a doorway into more. You can be grateful and still grow. You can be peaceful and still ambitious. You can be soft and still powerful. You can be grounded and still want a life that looks completely different. You do not need to choose between inner peace and expansion. The new reality allows both. The new reality allows wealth and calm, love and freedom, purpose and softness, success and alignment, power and presence. You are becoming someone who can hold both. You are becoming someone who does not need to abandon one part of life to receive another. You are becoming someone who allows life to become whole. Take another deep breath and let this truth enter your mind. The door is not opening because you are desperate. The door is opening because you are aligned. The door is not opening because you chased harder. The door is opening because you became ready. The door is not opening because you proved your pain. The door is opening because you remembered your power. And now your power is becoming quieter but stronger, less chaotic, more grounded, less attached, more certain, less controlled by what others understand, more guided by what your soul knows. This kind of power changes your life. It changes the way you respond. It changes the way you choose. It changes what you accept. It changes what you believe you are allowed to receive. And because of that, it changes what your reality can bring toward you. Your life is becoming a match for a higher version of you. A version that knows money can support freedom. A version that knows love can feel safe. A version that knows success can feel aligned. A version that knows peace can stay. A version that knows the future can be different from the past. You are becoming that version now. And as you become that version, life begins removing what cannot meet you there. Let it. Let old fear fall away. Let old pressure loosen. Let old patterns lose their power. Let old identities become too small. Let the door open without trying to carry every old thing through it. You are allowed to step forward with only what supports the future you are entering. Your wisdom can come with you. Your strength can come with you. Your self-respect can come with you. Your desire can come with you. Your clarity can come with you. Your courage can come with you. But the fear that says you cannot have more can stay behind. The story that says everything must be difficult can stay behind. The pattern that makes you question every good thing can stay behind. The identity that only knows survival can stay behind. Because this new reality is not built for survival alone. It is built for living, for expanding, for receiving, for choosing, for creating, for becoming more of who you actually are. You are allowed to live. You are allowed to receive. You are allowed to choose. You are allowed to create. You are allowed to become more of who you actually are. Take a slow breath and imagine your life beginning to open around this truth. Imagine waking up with more peace in your body. Imagine money feeling less heavy and more supportive. Imagine your mind becoming clearer. Imagine your decisions becoming more grounded. Imagine opportunities arriving in ways that feel aligned. Imagine people recognizing your energy without you needing to chase. Imagine doors opening because your identity has shifted. Imagine your life becoming softer and stronger at the same time. Let this image settle inside you. Not as fantasy, as direction. as an energetic instruction, as a reminder that your mind can begin rehearsing the new reality instead of repeating the old one, because the mind becomes familiar with what it practices. And today, you are practicing expansion. You are practicing receiving. You are practicing trust. You are practicing the identity of someone who knows the door has opened. You are practicing the feeling of moving through life with more power and less fear. This practice matters. It teaches your body that more can be safe. It teaches your energy that expansion can feel natural. It teaches your mind that the future can become a place of possibility instead of threat. You are safe to expand. You are safe to receive. You are safe to become visible. You are safe to hold wealth. You are safe to accept support. You are safe to let your life become beautiful. You are safe to walk through the door that opened for you. Let these words settle. You are safe to walk through the door that opened for you. The door to a clearer life. The door to a freer life. The door to a wealthier life. The door to a more aligned life. The door to the version of yourself that feels deeply true. And as you walk through, you do not need to rush. The new reality does not require panic. It requires presence. It requires trust. It requires the willingness to stop turning back every time the old story gets loud. The old story may still try to speak. It may tell you that change is unsafe. It may tell you that more is too much. It may tell you that the door will close if you do not run. But you do not need to obey that voice anymore. You can hear it and keep walking. You can feel fear and still choose alignment. You can feel uncertainty and still trust your direction. You can move forward with a soft heart and a strong spirit. That is what you are doing now. You are walking through the door. You are entering the new reality. You are becoming available for what matches your future. You are letting life meet you in a different way. And as you keep walking, everything begins to shift. The way you see yourself, the way you receive opportunities, the way you respond to change, the way you choose relationships, the way you think about money, the way you imagine your future. Everything begins to align with the reality that opened for you. And this alignment becomes magnetic, because when you stop living as the old version, life stops meeting you only through old patterns. When you stop expecting only struggle, you begin noticing ease. When you stop clinging to misalignment, you make space for what fits. When you stop questioning your right to receive, you become more open to blessings that were waiting for space. This is the shift. And this is why this message found you. It found you because a door has opened. It found you because a version of you is ready to stop circling the old reality. It found you because your energy is prepared to recognize something new. It found you because your life is beginning to call you forward. So breathe. Let the old chapter loosen. Let the new doorway become real. Let your body trust the opening. Let your mind release the need to know every detail. Let your spirit remember that it has always known how to move toward what is meant for you. You are being guided now, not into a smaller life, not into a repeated story, not into another cycle of proving your worth. You are being guided into more truth, more peace, more abundance, more freedom, more clarity, more connection with yourself, more of the life that feels like it actually belongs to you. And you are allowed to enter it. You are allowed to choose it. You are allowed to receive it. You are allowed to become it. The door has opened. The path is forming. The energy is shifting. The new reality is calling. And from this moment forward, allow yourself to walk like someone who knows that life has already opened a new door for them. Not someday, not far away. Now. The door is open now. Your energy is ready now. Your life is shifting now. And the version of you who walks through this doorway is already rising inside you. If you're ready to stay aligned with this energy, I created a 31-day manifestation journal for you. The link is in the description. Thank you for being here.